there and change every single one using different queries. And some of the queries was not just simple query. It was using union queries and delete queries and all that stuff. So that had to be figured out. The next one is collectors. Now, this is the reason why this is the hard part, because you could have 4 collectors, you could have 15 collectors. But the combination of that is one key, almost. So what I had to do on step 4 was 12 pages worth of code. I had to go through every single scenario that possible to check for species citations and collectors. And this form is not bounded, so it's all done by code. So after you do that, you get this dialog box saying, is this data correct? This is key because I'm checking for data integrity. I don't want you to enter anything that's not legal and that's not correct. So this here again leads to the next page. And finally, step 5. In step 4 to 5 is already saved, but in step 5, you get to add the sessions. How many was collected? In this situation, it was collected on April 20th, 1968, and total of 1 undetermined adult male. Now, if you click on add, you'll get a box like this, and then you can type in your information, and you can just go back and you get this. Now, another key issue was data integrity. So in here, we have a system that allows you to actually delete garbage data, checks for what is a garbage data, and alter any combo boxes that you have. Data cleansing, as far as garbage data, deleting the garbage data is if your supporting data does not link to the major primary data, then it is considered a garbage data. But not all forms are connected to that. So you have to keep in mind that some of them are set not to delete. And deletions are only given to special privileged users, such as Dr. Mastella, who has admin rights. Some of the reporting system was another one. And as Ryan was saying, there's a lot of limitations to access, and there was tons. And this code right here is relatively easy, but it took me an hour to get that, about an hour and a half, because there was a bug in Microsoft. There's a function called text width, which says how wide is the actual text within the control. But in Access, there's a bug. It doesn't work. So I had to go online and actually download a working code and use that function over Microsoft's. So as you can tell right here, you got a male sign and a female sign, and you got a U here. So we're using a conditional positioning and visibility formatting for reports. Like in Arpeggio, you have something that you lock to the previous control, so you could just shift everything over. But in Access, you can't do that. In Access, you have to actually write a code that would position it dynamically. As each detail is printed, that's when you remove it. When it's formatted, you'll move it, and then you print it out. And you could hide those too. Another key point here is these things, item right here. There's only one record there, but if you have 5 different collections on different days, you have to format it in sideways, and that was difficult to do. Okay, lessons learned, managing projects. This basically only had 36 tables, 104 queries, 32 reports. Maybe about a quarter of it was actually done through this internship. But I actually wrote about 75 pages worth of code because of the change. If it wasn't for the change, it would have been a lot better. And from before starting the project till now, I had to use a lot of stored procedures because I realized that I used a lot of procedures over and over again. So I would make a global procedure and use it over and over again. Another lesson I learned was gathering user requirements. And speaking my language is basically the same thing. I felt like I was talking to Dr. Mastella, but talking in a different language. I thought I was talking like in Chinese or Korean or whatever. He didn't understand what I was saying, and he did not get me. I was wondering why, but I thought, when I was thinking back, I realized that I was talking too technical, talking more about the data instead of finding out what he actually does on a regular day, what his processes were. So after a while, I decided not to listen to him as far as data manipulation goes, more along the lines of what he does and how he collects things and how he displays it to other people. And basically, this project was all bugs, 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 because all I did was sleep about bugs. I would try to think of solutions when I sleep, and sometimes I would even think about collecting the bugs, how he does it. So it was really all about bugs. That's basically it. Any questions?